Good morning, my people, my people, my people. My name is Chief Strumbler, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Spirit and Most Hated Son, the Diaspora Machismo. My people, a lot of Vincentians thought that Ralph Gonsalves refusing to emit office and to lend new blood to the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the form of either Camilo Gonsalves or Sabota Caesar is as a result of he love power. We all know Ralph Gonsalves love power. But it's bigger and greater than Ralph Gonsalves loving power why he did not emit the seat of Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines on July 31st, Sunday, July 31st, 2022, at the Unity Labour Party convention, which is held at, I think, the Bethel High School in Camden Park or something like that. My people, let me bring you the real reason Ralph Gonsalves did not emit government. Why he stand opposed for the post of President of the Unity Labour Party, and while he allowed Montgumry Daniel to stand opposed. First thing you have to realize, Ralph Gonsalves did not really want to emit office. But he thought his son Camilo, after promoting him so much, was big enough to go into the Unity Labour Party and become president of the Unity Labour Party. Good morning, Betty. But he realized that the people of the Unity Labour Party, the membership of the Unity Labour Party, do not want Camilo. Right? But he had a big problem on his hands. Montgumry Daniel is Deputy Prime Minister. Ralph Gonsalves is a very old man. He's experiencing dementia and other illnesses, and he can die at any time. If Ralph Gonsalves die in office and he die with Montgumry Daniel as the Deputy Prime Minister, what happens? Automatically, by virtue of Montgomery's position of Deputy, Montgumry assumed the post of Prime Minister. Therefore, putting Camilo Gonsalves at the very back of the table where the post of Prime Minister is concerned, Ralph Gonsalves don't want that. His whole ploy was to try to get Montgumry Daniel to leave the post of Deputy Prime Minister. He had been trying to get Montgumry Daniel to resign from running for the past 15 years. Montgumry Daniel, although he is pensionable, he refused to leave the post because Ralph Gonsalves don't have any control over him. So now, Montgumry Daniel is former in the post of Deputy Prime Minister. The only how he can get rid of Montgumry Daniel out of politics and not running for the Unity Labour Party is if he kill Montgumry Daniel. So now Jules Maltese agree. Now Montgumry Daniel is settling more. He's in deeper. But that is not the main reason why he didn't vacate the seat, because Montgumry Daniel was not willing to vacate, not to run for the presidency of the Unity Labour Party. Montgumry Daniel, whether Ralph Gonsalves vacated his post as president or not, Montgumry Daniel was going to put himself up, because Montgumry Daniel is an ambitious man. He can't control Montgumry in the same manner he had been controlling Sabota Caesar, Camilo Gonsalves, Luke Brown, Sesmaki, and all of these people. And I will tell you why at the end of this video. Listen to me, people. What does Nicole Sylvester, Hugo Chavez, and Fidel Castro has in common? They all were healthy people who got ill suddenly. They all were healthy people who got very ill suddenly, make a miraculous recovery, and then they elapse in their illness, suffer a little, and they subsequently die. Sorry. My people, if anyone in St. Vincent and the Grenadines has money and they checked the blood sample of Nicole Sylvester, Hugo Chavez, the president of Venezuela, and Fidel Castro, the president of Cuba, you will find that there is a common trait in their illness. They all suffered from the same illness, which had the same root cause, and which was responsible for their illnesses and subsequently dying. Oh, Miss Roberts, Wanda, nice to have you. Listen to this. Listen to this, my people. Tell me if I'm speaking sense or truth or not. In 1977, Maurice Bishop overthrew the Eric Gary government. Strong revolution. Every Grenadian was on board. Even Eric Gary supporters was on board. There was a few they had, but they couldn't do anything. People like Michael Denny from Bottomtown was in Cuba. Dr. Michael Denny, let me put his title, was in Cuba. He was one of Maurice Bishop's speechwriters. Ralph Gonsalves saw an opportunity. He went to Grenada. He became one of Maurice Bishop's speechwriters also. But the impetus that sent Ralph Gonsalves to Grenada was different than what sent Michael Denny, Dr. Michael Denny, to Grenada to aid in Maurice Bishop's development and his revolution. Maurice Bishop was sent to Grenada by the American government as a mole. Ralph Gonsalves was sent to Grenada by the American government as a mole to infiltrate the revolution. While Ralph Gonsalves was writing speech for Maurice Bishop, the CIA was feeding him information. So when you see Maurice Bishop went to United States, New York City, and he was speaking in New York City, and he said he had information that the United States government is trying to get rid of him. And the United States government was afraid because Cuba speaks Spanish, socialists. Venezuelans speak Spanish, socialists. But Maurice Bishop and Grenada was English speaking. They can communicate directly with the American government, with the American people. And the American people has a large population of black people who look to Maurice Bishop for ideas. All of these information that Maurice Bishop was being fed came from Ralph Gonsalves. While Ralph Gonsalves have earned the trust of Maurice Bishop and was feeding Maurice Bishop information, he was sowing seed of discontent among his government. He told Bernard Code, the American government is willing to work with him, but not with Maurice Bishop. And the only how the American government would work with Bernard Code is if Maurice Bishop is out of the way, if he's dead. That is why Maurice Bishop was killed by Bernard Code, who take over the government. Listen to me, people. Bernard Code is still alive. Find him and ask him these questions. He will be hesitant to answer, but he will eventually answer. My people, this is the truth and the fact. For years they've been trying to get rid of Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro want them off of Guantanamo Bay. They won't move. For years they were trying to get rid of Hugo Chavez of Venezuela. They couldn't get rid of him. The CIA used Maurice Bishop. The CIA used Ralph Gonsalves to befriend Fidel Castro and to befriend Hugo Chavez, to get what he can from them. But he was responsible for getting them to ingest chemical that will cause them to become ill. In the same way, he did it with Nicole Sylvester. And in the same way, he did it with Hugo Chavez. My people, in Guatemala, Alejandro Giammattei is a problem to the United States. Alejandro Giammattei, the president of Guatemala, have already learned that the American is trying to get rid of him. Who he learned it from? Ralph Gonsalves, who just visited Guatemala a month ago, who used his abstinence from the Conference of the Americas that was held in California, Los Angeles, California, as a means of sowing seed of friendship with Alejandro Giammattei. My people, he went there, he feed them information in the same way he had been feeding Maurice Bishop information in Grenada. In the same way, he had been feeding Fidel Castro information about what the American thinks of him. In the same way, he had been feeding Hugo Chavez of Venezuela of what the American thinks of him. Now, it is his time to find the right person that is close to Alejandro Giammattei, the president of Guatemala, who can feed him some form of poison to get him ill, subsequently dead, because the Americans want him dead. My people. So Ralph Gonsalves is power hungry. Yes, he's power hungry. But his reason for not vacating the seat and getting Montgumry Daniel out of that position is not because he didn't want to. It is because the American government will come up with a way of getting rid of Montgumry Daniel for him. And they will come up with a way to ensure that Camilo Gonsalves is prime minister. We will not see the hands of the American government, and we will think it is all Ralph Gonsalves' plan. Ralph Gonsalves does not have the intellect to plan that big. It is the American government who's going to do all of this. So don't be surprised if Sir Caesar comes up in some big scandal, or if he gets sick prematurely, to get him out of the way so that Camilo Gonsalves can become Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, even though he is not lawfully authorized to become the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My people, you're going to be afraid of sharing this video? Share this video if you feel like. I stop asking you to share. It doesn't matter to me how much views. I know you're going to get a lot of views. But Ralph Gonsalves and the CIA will reduce the content of views because they don't want it to go viral. They want people to think that nobody's paying this guy any mind. Nobody's taking him serious. You understand? But if you listen to my rationale and my reasoning, you know that it makes complete sense. You know that it makes complete sense. If Ralph Gonsalves refuses, they will destroy his legacy. But they don't have to destroy it. I am going to destroy it myself. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the Diaspora Machismo. Talk to you sometime soon. Have you all a wonderful weekend.